It's never about religion. It's always about relationship. When you're really, really in the moment and it's just like, you know what, God, I submit, I surrender. What does that really look like?
Right.
It's never about us. Mm-hmm. It's always about our purpose that he created us to do. And that's why Soul Cync is so powerful.
Love you.
What is it that drives you? How did the Lord give you the vision for this? Mm-hmm. You know, it's just,
it's definitely bigger than me. Like it's more than even just like a passion project. Soulmates, today on Soul Cync, we are honored to welcome a multifaceted talent whose journey embodies the harmony of mind, body, and spirit. Soulfia Perez King, also known as Soulfia, is a woman of God, author, singer, songwriter, and actress. Let's get into her transformative journey and uncover the soul behind her mission.
Wow. Thank you.
So happy to have you here. Out of all those amazing things too, I'm so honored to have you as a friend, as a sister, my family, and the honor and privilege to have you sitting here next to me on this show, because when I first created Soul Cync and I put together my guest list, I was like, of course we have to have Soulfia on this show. Would it be right to have it without you? So again, I'm honored. It's a privilege. I'm so grateful. Thank you so much for being here.
So truly honored to be here and just so proud of you. To see the light that you are. I have to tell you this. Whenever you're in a room and you walk in, it's dark. It's brighter because you're there. You truly are a beautiful soul. So what a name. Soul Cync. What a beautiful name for such. It's just so authentic. It's so pure. It's so you.
Thank you.
So thanks for having me.
Thank you so much. Now, like, literally, I'm like nervous having you here because you are just somebody that, like, you truly feel God in your presence. Amen. When we speak, when you share stories with me, when you give me game, when you put me on, like just the wisdom you share, majority of the time, I be having chills all over. And even now, like with the podcast and being a host, I learned how much you really don't have to share too much when you're in the middle of like an interview, you know? And one thing I wanted to work on with this season and with this podcast was becoming more vulnerable. And with you, like, the mirror's in your face, the mask is off. It is nothing but authenticity. And what I love about even just in the name Soul Cync, my intentions were really bring up people's vibration and bring them to where you're at, because all the hard work we've done. So to be around you is like, oh yeah, we're getting deep. We're getting into it right away. You know, I can feel it. Like I literally in my heart right now.
It's so special. You're such a, your soul is so pure. What a great name, Soul Cync. and every guest that you've had come here, I haven't seen all of the episodes, but what an honor. You're fulfilling your purpose and God's purpose. We're all not here. It's not about us. It's about Him.
Right.
And the gifts that He's given us. And we're supposed to use them to glorify Him and to surrender and to serve. And this Soul Cync is totally, I mean, I've learned everything from how someone moved from the middle of nowhere to California and found God, or how someone didn't know themselves, and like you're getting really deep. Right. And I'm sure a lot of your friends and people you've interviewed have gone and left and was like, wow, did I question myself here or there? So you're making people think outside of the box, and it's beautiful.
Right.
It's beautiful.
You. I love you so much.
Love you more.
Thank you. All right, back to you, because this is about you. Please, can we get into the people that don't know you or are just now hearing of your amazing spirit? Can we get more into like who is Soulfia and all that you do and your purpose and your backstory?
Yes, I was just telling Naya that when I leave here, I'm going to Chinese New Year.
Right, I just found out. Tell the people.
Right? So my grandfather is King Solomon Burke, the pioneer of rock and soul music. I'm sure you guys know the Rolling Stones. Everybody needs somebody. And I am I guess I would say first generation of, music on a higher level. So I grew up in entertainment, and I never thought that I would want to ever professionally pursue it because you grow up around it. You're just like, oh my God, everyone can sing. So I grew up as a kid like this is just normal.
Right.
Because my grandfather has 21 kids. My mom's number 11, 5 wives. And so my grandmother's Sunday, her name is Sunday Burke, Frances Sunday Chin. She's Chinese. And my mom's mom passed when my mom was 12. So my grandfather remarried. So I have aunts and uncles that are Chinese and African American. So my family is like a big melting pot. So we have, you know, full African American. My mom is Indian, Native American, and Black. And then I have my Asian and Black. But we're all so loving and everybody's so sweet. But yeah, I moved here in 2004 with my grandfather, and I went to college and I worked for him as an assistant. I don't know if you're familiar with J. Cole, but we're from the same like rivalry high schools. Shouts out to J. Cole. Love you, big bro. He's a great guy. But yeah, so I grew up in Fayetteville, North Carolina. And when I graduated, I got a partial scholarship to AMDA, American Music and Dramatic Academy. And I needed like 30 grand. And I said, Grandpa, I need 30 grand by next week. I'm going to school. I got a partial scholarship. He's like, for what? And I'm like, I'm going to school for music and acting and theater. He's like, no, you're not. You're going to come to Calabasas. You're going to live with me. You're going to go on tour. And then you're going to go to regular college and you're going to decide if music is something you really want to do. So I did that. Ended up going to CSUN, moved in with my grandfather. And my very first tour was with James Brown, Aretha Franklin, my grandfather. And like, I'm just out here like 17, 18, singing background for these icons. And I'm just like, oh my God, like this is something that I enjoy and I really want to do. So I stayed in college, finished school, worked with my grandfather in 2010. He passed away. I got my solo record deal with Universal and Def Jam in 2007. And I said, you know what? I think I want to take a break from music. I just want to transition my life because I never knew life without having my grandfather. He was my, you know, my attorney, get me in and out of record deals and just kind of like being my rock. He passed away and I met my husband in summer of 2010.
So you met him on like the rise of your career when you're on fire.
I was on Universal Music at the time and I was focused on my career. And I don't know if I shared this with you, but like when you know spiritually, when is the one? Yeah. So I've been married 12 years. I got married in 2012. 26 years old when I got married. Most say, oh, you're so young. Yeah. But I traveled the world. I've been to every country. I all the partying. I did all that in my early 20s. So I met him at 24, got married at 26, and I'm so grateful. But when you know, like when I first met him, I was like, whoa, this is so scary because he's too perfect. God, what are you trying to tell me? And believe it or not, in October 10/10/10, my grandfather passed away.
Wow.
And he got cut from the Detroit Lions and he went to the Cleveland Browns and he called me and he was like, hey, you're like my best friend. Because I was on tour for 6 months and he was in the season. So we were talking every day. Yeah. So when he got fired, he's like, hey, could you help me move from Detroit to Cleveland? And I'm switching teams. And so we were just tied together like glue. I was going through a transition. He was going through a transition and God knew that we needed each other. Right. So it was just divine timing. So I always say, trust God no matter what it looks like, because he is moving in your favor when you just surrender.
So when did your relationship with God begin? Like, were you born into it? Like, what is your background spiritually and like religiously?
Well, my grandfather was a pastor. He actually got signed at 11 years old in Philadelphia. In church, and he wrote Christmas Presents from Heaven. They gave him his record deal. And I just found out that my mom's mom also was a minister, and my great-grandfathers were like well-known pastors. So my ancestry, I look and I'm like, wow, everyone's into ministry, but I just gravitate to just like serving and just really like, I always tell my husband, like, we're really successful in real estate. I'm like, I want more millions because I want to give more. Like, I just want more to give more. Yeah. And he's just like, babe, like your heart, like, I'm like, it's not about us. Like, we have everything we need. Like, people in Africa, just the year we just created a water and clean water fountain in Africa. And it just like, to see them not have to walk 4 miles to get clean water, I was like, you know what? I'm going to buy this property. I'm going to, just so I could just give, you know, and so it's That's bigger amazing. Than us. Yeah. So my grandparents were all ministers and my grandfather was also like, he sung about love, R&B as well, but mostly gospel. And I have to tell you the story. When I was in elementary school, I had a really good friend. Her name was Jasmine. And I wanted to spend a night at her house. And growing up in North Carolina, like I'm mixed. Everybody was either black or white, so I never fit in. But I had this one friend. And I wanted to go to her house. I'm like, Mom, she's on my cheerleading team. I had to be in the 4th grade. And the girl was in the 5th grade. My mom was like, no, that little girl's too grown. We're going to church tomorrow. You need to go to church. And you're not spending the night. So the next day I woke up we had a football game, and I was waiting. 2 other girls had spent the night at her house, and her older sister was 17, and she had a driver's license. They were on their way there, and they got in a car accident. And my best friend Jasmine flew out the window and died.
The night you're supposed to...
I was in the 4th grade. I will never forget that. I went to her funeral, and I literally got on my knees, and I surrendered to God. I said, God, I want to live for you. I just, my faith, just seeing someone that I loved at such a young age go, it changed, it altered like my value on breath, life, having oxygen. Like, I surrendered to God at a young age. You know, like when I went to college, obviously I had a wonderful time and hung out and did all those things, but I never really was promiscuous. I had like maybe 3 boyfriends before I was married. Like, I literally just surrendered to God. I just was like, God, I really just want to pursue what you have for me and to serve.
Yeah.
And that's been in my heart for a very long time.
Right.
4th grade.
Same. You know, that's...
It was life altering.
Yeah. Especially like someone that close to you, because I had like a similar, not a car accident, but someone had passed away when I was in elementary school, and that was like so crazy. Like, just we're like,
were you close to them?
Not close, but like someone in the class, like, you know, we know who they are, and at that age, you don't even really understand death.
Right.
And then, like, especially for you, like when you were telling the story, I'm just like thinking of like how you're like, I want to live. Like, how is this happening? Just so many thoughts for like someone that young to comprehend, and for you to know, like,
and even on a deeper note, I don't know if I got a chance to express the story, but obedience. I was so upset at my mom. My mom was protecting me from something that the Lord showed her. And I'm forever indebted to my mother, because she saved me from myself, you know. And I was kicking. I remember the Lord delivered me because I was kicking on the wall. I was like, I want to go to my friends, and I was so upset.
She had that mother's intuition,
and that's why it's so vital to ask God for the wisdom of 100 men, to pray, to seek his face, to spend alone time with him. It's never about religion. It's always about relationship. God doesn't want you to follow rules. Yeah, we obviously have the 10 Commandments, and always follow those. You know, that's just the standard of life. Right. But when you're really, really in the moment, and it's just like, you know what, God, I submit, I surrender. What does that really look like? Right. It's never about us. It's always about our purpose that he created us to do. And that's why Soul Cync is so powerful.
Love you.
Each episode, I'm actually growing and learning more about you. You know, like, what is it that drives you? How did the Lord give you the vision for this? You know, it's
definitely bigger than me. Like, it's more than even just like a passion project. And that's why I loved you praying over us too, because I'm like, use me to do whatever you need to do. And Soul Cync, it was when I got closer to God, there was a lot going on. Like, I grew up in the church with my grandma. They're both deacon and deaconess in the Bay Area. And I loved church so much. Like, I loved praise dancing, singing in the choir, being in the plays, waking up super early, going to bed super late, because my grandma, she was militant with it. Oh, wow. And then, a lot of people don't know this, but my mom had decided, okay, let me backtrack a little bit. So I was living with my dad and my grandparents. And then my mom was like, okay, it's time to come back and live over here. And she decided to start studying being a Jehovah's Witness again. Wow. So that was like, I said, you got to ask Nana. I was like, she's not going to go for me missing church. Like, we don't ever be late, you know what I'm saying? So that was really confusing and really hard. And then me and my mom, we didn't have the best relationship growing up. And I got really close to one of my friend's parents in high school, and she's Jewish. Wow. So it was like I really got to see so many different religions. And then coming to LA, I was just focused on work. I was like, work is my religion. Like, I always going to believe in God, but this is what I'm going to put all my energy to. Like, I know what I want, and I don't want to ask nobody for it. I want to figure out how to get it myself. And I just kept getting that close pull to God, and I would just feel him in so many different areas and so many different ways and things in my life. And then when I realized, like, oh, I could have my own relationship with him, but I don't have to go to church, being around, like, you know, growing up, being exposed to that many religions, I noticed a few things. I noticed that a lot of them are saying the similar things. And I noticed that they just all have different rules. And the rules is what made me shy away from it, because I was like, this doesn't make sense. And like me as a kid, I had just a curiosity to everything. Honestly, not much has changed. But I would like challenge them in a sense of like, I remember one of my Bible studies being at like the Kingdom Hall with Jehovah's Witnesses. They said that I couldn't watch Twilight like when it had came out because of like the origin of vampires or something. And I was like, I'm gonna go see Twilight. But I kept asking why. Well, why not? And so it would go back to that. And so I would say things like, well, then why can't I watch Shrek? Because the origin of ogres. And then that would stump them. So at that point, I'm like, okay, yeah, no, you guys got to make it make sense to me. And I just kept working on getting closer to God without having to, you know, like conform to what other people want, because it doesn't even have to do with God at that point. I'm trying to make this person happy, and then
pleasing man.
Right.
You never will.
Honestly.
Man will always fall short. Honor God in all you do and go to him. That's the only one that you need the relationship with. Any rules that are man-made, fall into sin.
That's why I love spirituality, because I feel like people have the definition like confused. Like to me, spirituality is your relationship with God without the community, without other people in your relationship, because religion feels like, okay, we're all together doing this. What would you say spirituality means to you?
Spirituality is different for everyone, but it's your walk with God.
Right.
And being very cautious with the word God. Who is God? God created the universe. Some people say universe. Some people have sage. Some people, and no judgment. But do you believe in God, the Father, the Father of Jesus?
I love you.
Jesus Christ, who surrendered and died and gave his life for us? Now we talking. Yes.
Now we talking.
Yes. And guess what? God knows you're going to fall short. You're going to make mistakes. But he loves you. He loves all of us, even the ones who are Jehovah's Witnesses and confused, and he loves them all. And he just wants a relationship. It's never about religion.
Right.
It's always about relationship. And how can you have a relationship with someone you don't spend time with? This is the reason why it's so vital. Soul sync, being in sync with your soul. God gave you a soul. I don't care if you get up at 9 o'clock in the morning, 8:30, get up and say, you know what? I'm not even going to pick up the phone. I'm just going to lay here and hear from God. And I guarantee you, if you consistently do that, you'll have a sense of peace that nothing.
Man.
You won't fear. You'll never have fear. So what am I afraid of?
Right.
You know?
No, I love that you said that, because of just about him wanting to spend time with you and have that relationship. Because I told myself this year, I want to read the Bible. And not just because I want to be able to recite my favorite scriptures, but I want to get familiar with how he speaks. So I could just keep hearing him more clearer and clearer and clearer, because that's what I do here. I love getting to know how humans operate, but I love psychology. I love just seeing how people move, like why they do the things that they do. But I'm like, I need to do that with God. I need to get familiar with his word, so when the signs do come, I know exactly who it's coming from, because I know how he talks. I know how he speaks. And now I want to get really, really deep into this, because I knew at some point I wanted to share this story. So let's just do it now.
Let's do it.
Because I really pay attention to the time people come into my life. And like we met so long ago. Shout out to Nick and Brittany. You guys are the best.
I love y'all so much.
My other angels on earth.
Yes.
But when you came back into my life, that was a scary time. And it's crazy. It's like almost exactly a year.
I'll never forget the day I didn't want to go to the Super Bowl. I was pregnant. And I'm in the airport and I'm like, why do I know? Where do I? And then I was like, you know what? And I told my husband, he'll tell you to this day, like, I was like, I just want to go say hi. Like, my spirit is tugging me, but I don't know her name, but I know her. He was like, you don't know her. You don't know her name. I'm like, no, you don't understand. Like, I've crossed paths with her and the Lord is telling me to say something, but and then I turned around and you were gone. And I said, well, Lord, if it's meant, allow us to cross paths again. And it was so spiritual. What happened? And how did we end up at the airport at the same time, like right before the Super Bowl?
Right. Okay. So, yeah, it's crazy because Super Bowl's tomorrow.
It's like a year exactly.
Exactly. Divine timing. It's tripping me out right now.
Wow.
So, oh, man, I'm like, where do I start? At the time, you know, really deep into the music industry, I had recently lost my job from Republic and started just figuring it out. I was like, oh, that's not going to stop me. Now I have more freedom to just work on all these other projects. And I was out there with one of my business partners and, you know, just other music associates, and so excited for the Super Bowl. This would have been my second time going. I loved the Super Bowl the year before. And I remember he had on this shirt that my business partner at the time, he had on this shirt that was like it had that, what is it, the upside down star?
Something demonic.
Yeah. And I was like, ooh, I don't like that shirt. I was like, you shouldn't wear that shirt. And he brushed it off. And I was like, no, really, like, you should take off the shirt. Like, it just felt something like automatic. I'm like feeling it now. It was just like, oof, bad energy. And I asked him to please don't wear this shirt around me anymore. And a spirit had came out and he turned to me, and I swear, like, not even recognizable at that point of who he was. Wow. And that's when I was like, oh, I think I know who this is, and it's time for me to go home. And then I kept having this feeling as soon as I got to Vegas, something's off. Something's going to happen. But then I was like, okay, let me reprogram my thoughts, because I don't want anything to happen. I know how powerful I am, so I'm not even going to keep thinking or attracting these thoughts. So let's change it. Ignoring my intuition. So when that encounter happened, I was like, I'm not going to sit around here and wait to see how crazy it's going to get. And I left. I didn't care about the Super Bowl tickets. I was like, I need to get on the first flight out of here. I think I got like a flight for literally like that next hour, grabbed my stuff, and I just left. Like, didn't even explain anything to anybody, didn't even tell people I was leaving. I was just like, I can't ignore my intuition to see how much worse this is going to get as far as like energy wise. And it could have been the energy of being in Sin City too. But I was so just like emotionally sensitive, and I felt everything so strongly. And I just remember looking up what that star meant. And like now I don't even want to know what it's called, but it's like the pentagram. I think that's what it is. Yeah. An upside down pentagram. And it attracts like demonic spirits. And that's just another one of the many reasons why I'm so intentional about what I wear, what I say, what I do, about everything, because you never know. And being in a place like Vegas, where it is Sin City, and it's just easier you're exposing yourself. And to have seen you that day, right when I had just left, and I was like, oh my gosh, is that Soulfia? But I think you had on like a hat, like you guys were like, you know, low key in the airport. And then I think I saw on Instagram that you were in Vegas, and I was like, oh my God, that was you. And I had DM'd you. And then, but yeah, so that was the point. You had came in my life. And a problem I have is ignoring things. Ignoring things and just like, I don't want this to be in my reality, so I'm not going to pay attention to it. And that was one of those things. And I continued to be around those people stayed in the music industry and just acted like certain things didn't happen or didn't affect me, or like, you didn't see this, you didn't see that, and keep it pushing. I mean, like, I've been in the industry since I was 16. It's 10 years now. So it's easy. At that point, it's pattern, it's routine. But God said, no more. We ain't doing that no more. We gonna face all your fears.
Amen.
You are getting out of this darkness. Just because you're a light doesn't mean you gotta bring light to every room you're in to learn how to protect yourself. But I will say, and then I'm done with this story, when that happened, I wasn't scared, because I swear as soon as I heard that voice and saw that spirit, I felt like a whole armor just went all over me. And I was like, yep, you know exactly what you need to do.
Covered by the blood.
And we got to go.
Wow.
And we got to go.
Wow.
And that's what I did.
And you were obedient. And now you have the testimony to share. Whenever you follow your heart and your spirit, you never fail. You never go wrong. Right. Lord knows what you saved yourself from by just taking that next flight out and just not even saying nothing, keeping the peace. Sometimes peace is the most powerful thing in the world.
Man.
Whenever you say less, let my action speak for itself. I surrender to God.
Right.
I don't need man. God got me covered.
Yeah.
And that was a leap of faith. And you told God, I trust you, God. I'm out of here.
Yeah, I didn't care about, because they were like, who's leaving the Super Bowl? Like, why would you leave?
I don't need this man-made game. I could watch it on TV. I don't even have to watch it at all.
Man, and I'd be like, this is a concert for me. Like, you got to teach me about football. Because
I promise I got you.
I'd be here for the halftime performances, okay?
That's.
But, I love that I was able to really hear and feel clearly. And then I love that I got to stumble into an angel on the way home. And just like our relationship now, like, you're just truly such an amazing person. Like, seriously, from it all, like your voice, love your music.
And so are you. We love you.
You keep turning it about me, but this is about you.
I have to ask you this question. I know this is probably because you've been exposed to Christianity, Jehovah's Witness, Judaism, Christianity. What have you learned most about God in those three different lights? Like, what do you know? Like, for a fact, I know, because I feel like all of these religions that you've been exposed to have some sort of purpose in your walk with God and your testimony. And even when, like, when you get married and you have kids, like, it's going to be something that takes you to a profound moment where you're like, you know what, God, I experienced that because you were going to bring me here. Yeah.
Honestly, I said it before, I feel like there was a lot of similarities, and that made me feel like, oh, y'all saying the same thing, but like arguing with each other and trying to switch it up. But what I say that what it's given me is that we're not here to judge. Amen. We're not here to judge. We're not here to do anything but love and be loved. That's what I really learned, because being able to be patient and dive deep with people and have that level of understanding was like, it taught me a lot about myself, of like that I'm naturally not a judgmental person. And that was really like my problem with religion. I didn't like how they judged other people that didn't believe what they believed.
So heavy. Yes.
So what it's taught me was like, oh, nah, we're not here to judge. Just
like, I'm going to love everybody.
Yes, to love and be loved and to receive, to also accept that love, because I'm such a giver.
Yes,
and,
you are.
I had and I had a problem with receiving at a point. And then when I realized like how receiving is being in your feminine, is being a woman, and really tapping into that. I love being a woman. I'm the girliest girl. So I was just like, okay, yeah, receiving's not going to be hard for me no more. But to bring it back to just not judging. I love that about myself. I love that I could find the beauty in everything. So I feel like spending time with people who have different beliefs and hearing them out and then comparing and then being able to feel their love for God. I'm like, okay, we're going to be okay. We just got to pray for humanity. But yeah, just not judging and to love and be loved.
So powerful. There's so much power in that. That's not our job. Just like you said, God created us to love and serve and give and use our gifts that he's given us to bring all the glory back to him. It's like no other way. So what's so much insight? I didn't know that about you. What? I love that. That you were exposed to that. That's actually really powerful. And maybe 10 years from now, you'll understand why God had you to experience 3 different.
Oh, more too. Yeah. Like a lot of my friends are Buddhists,
wow.
which I love too. Like breath work. Oh, that's life force. I love like that religion as well. And like just how they can center themselves back so quickly. But yeah, no.
But ain't nothing like God.
Ain't nothing like God. He's everything. everything. All.
Yes.
Man.
Love to everyone though.
Yeah, love to everybody.
Yes.
Oh, we uncovered a really hard topic and we just jumped straight into it because that's something I was like, oh, I know it's going to come up on the podcast and I want to respect everyone's beliefs, but not a lot of people can communicate as graceful and powerful as you. So thank you for even like being willing to talk about religion with me on a platform where, you know, it means a lot.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Remember, it's not about religion. It's about relationship.
Man, we putting that on a shirt.
Hashtag.
But I want to get into also like your strength. We know that you're covered with God and he's all over you. But what personal work have you had to do to be as strong as you are? Because I know strength comes with trials and tribulations and triumph.
What a great question. To whom much is given, much more is required. You can only, not even judge, but you can only like see and accept for the fruits that a person has. I've been married 12 years. Faithful, loyal, successful marriage. I own like $25 million in real estate. You would never know. I serve in the inner city. I house single mothers. I'm still building more. I have my own record label. You know, I've been signed to Universal Republic and Def Jam, and I was always like the girl they said, oh, she needs to lose weight, or oh, cut her hair, or oh, she has a great voice, or oh, we're gonna.
You're literally a perfect person, Soulfia. No way.
You're the best. And so I took all of those moments and I said, you know what, God, no matter what man says about me, you created me this way for you. So I'm going to be my own boss. Right. And I don't need these labels. Right. I got everything I need right here. Right. So to have such an amazing husband, to be my partner, encourage me. Like he understands because he's an entertainer through sports. Like he's gone all the time. He understands I'm on tour. I'm here. I'm there. And so just having a support system like that is priceless. Wow. And I pray that every woman could sit in their femininity. I know you will. Really soon.
Yeah, manifest it for me.
Yes. Because I just feel like it's no greater feeling than building, having that person that you know is coming home to you, coming home to them like, babe, how can I make your day better? Right. What are your goals? How can we sit down and strategize, you know, individual goals and then goals together. So he's a football guy. He trains guys going from college to the pros. He also works for the Chargers still, and he's active in the NFL. And I have my entertainment, and then we have our real estate. And through the real estate, we work together, and we just give and serve. Right. So we have our outlets, and so we have balance. And it took some years to get there. I'm 12 years in. It's come with a lot of sacrifice. I remember when I first met him, I was 24. I had got out of my deal with Def Jam. I was with Universal, and I was so happy and excited. And I decided to give it all up and to be a wife and submit and to help him transition from the NFL to the real world. Right. And sometimes I sit with him like, oh man, I really sacrificed like all my 20s. So I'm about to do this right here and do this right here. But then I look at my children. I'm like, you know what, God? Like you saved me from myself.
The cutest babies in the world.
I love gosh,
you. We gotta just add pictures in right here. Oh, I can't wait to go hold him when we get out of here.
He loves you, but God will save you from yourself. Sometimes you see things for yourself.
Oh, I like this.
And you want them so bad, or you think like, oh, this is what I'm made for. God will save you from yourself sometimes, and He'll.
So do you feel like that had something to do with you being in a relationship in your 20s? Because the advice people give to me all the time is stay single throughout your whole 20s. And
That's what they say now.
Mm.
I bet your great-great-grandparents didn't have social media and Facebook and all those things, and they stayed married to the same guy for 60, 70 years.
Yeah, my grandma, they've been married since she was 18.
See?
And they're still married now.
And they're still married.
Still so in love, still best friends. One of my favorite examples of love.
And you see it, and you have it in your family. And that's the thing. A lot of people live in fear and not faith. They're afraid to really be. They're afraid to not be outside.
Right.
You know, and they're afraid to really surrender. Because when you really surrender to God and you say, what is my purpose? What do you have for me to do? You know, I really feel so grateful that God, I got out of the deal with Def Jam, and then I was on Universal, and I met my husband, and I thought I was doing this and doing that. And then when I got married, I was like, you know what, God, actually helping these single moms is so rewarding to me, and I feel so good because my parents, my dad was in the Army, and my parents separated when I was 15, and my mom moved into a shelter. And so we were homeless for a little bit. And so there was a prostitute who was a roommate at the shelter that we were at, and my mom didn't have money to buy me shoes. So this prostitute, her name was Star, she gave me her shoes on my first day of school, and I got picked on because they were like some newly used Adidas or whatever, but it was new to me. I had never worn them before, you know, and my parents had broken up, and, you know, I was in this shelter. My dad had pulled out a gun on my mom, and my mom said she felt unsafe. So we just left in the middle of the night, and I went to a shelter, and it was the first day of school, and I was like, oh my God, Mom, like everything's gone. So just like being able to transition and go from something like that to see that, I feel like God has me in real estate and building wealth for my children, and I'm still able to do all the amazing things that I have in my heart and my soul. So just continue to stay true to who you are. Soul Cync, how more powerful is that? Like, you're on a mission to save souls in a way that it's just not like, oh, you need to know Jesus. No.
Yeah. You need to know yourself.
Sit with Naya for 30, 45 minutes. Get to love who God created you to be on the highest level. So powerful. Thank you so much for having me.
Of course. Really quickly, before we wrap this up, because I love what you said about faith over fear, and that's where I'm at too, like in my process, like from last year, anything I'm scared of, I was like running towards, because I was like, you know, what's on the other, exactly.
But now, I put you back together.
Yes, exactly.
So beautiful.
But can you just share a time where on the other side of fear was a great blessing for you? Or is there nothing that you were scared of?
No one's perfect. I was definitely afraid of getting married at 26 because I got out of my deal, and I was like, ooh, like I'm going to be married. Like, but let me tell you something. The day that I did, I felt so much closer to God. Wow. I was like, God, I'm not just like living with this guy and shacking up with this guy. This is like my husband. And yeah, I'm 26, but I have the world in front of me. And whatever I need to figure out, I'm ready. Wow. So there's a sense of peace. Whenever you're living right, you feel like fearless because you're invincible. You're like, you know what, God, like,
I got this.
I'm right with you. If the world ends tomorrow, I'm going to heaven. So I'm good.
Man.
I don't have fear.
That's how I felt with these fires. I was like,
yes, I'm covered by the blood of Jesus.
We're going to pack this bag, but I'm going to stick to the schedule, stick to the plan, because I don't feel anything in my body that's making me shake in my boots, and we got to get out of here now. We're going to be fine. And I called you, and Brittany called me, and I was like, if y'all not scared, I'm definitely not going to worry.
Always faith over fear.
Yes.
And we have soul ties forever.
Oh, forever. Oh, man, there's just so much I wanted to uncover, but today is just one of those days. But, like, please, I have to have you back as soon as possible.
Absolutely.
And then before we go, I just want to ask you a quick little rapid question. So you ready?
Let's do it.
Okay. What is your favorite scripture?
Ooh, 91st Psalms is in my house. Special advice to everyone. Wherever you live, have a Bible that you never touch, and it's always open in 91st Psalms. God covering your home, covering your car, and just keep it open.
I love that.
Run
roll. Yes. Okay. What does faith mean to you in one word?
Love.
Period. I love that. Okay. How do you realign when you feel off balance?
Work out.
Yes. Oh, see, we didn't even get to talk about that. We got to get into the book. Okay. What is your favorite self-care ritual?
sauna, meditation, and prayer all at the same time.
I love that. That's a good one. Okay. What is one thing that people misunderstand about you?
A lot of people say that I'm always nice and I'm always bubbly and but I'm always this way.
Yeah.
I'm just truly grateful to have. My mom told me the other day, she's like, Soulfia, it's okay to have it all. You have it all and it's fine. And just sit in that and know, like, God has graced you because you deserve it. I was a good kid when I was growing up. Like, after the 4th grade, when that situation happened, I was really obedient. So, like, the blessings have come from my obedience for
Honor
years.
Your mother and your father.
Yeah, absolutely.
One thing you always carry with you?
I guess I would say my smile.
Ooh,
I smile every day when I go to Starbucks. You look so beautiful. I give people compliments because you just never know what somebody's going through.
And what type of day you're having and how it could just turn around all because you smiled took time out of your day. I love that. Okay, the last one. What is one thing you want to be remembered for?
Just being a loving soul. Like, everybody that I encounter, just showing love. Like, how can I serve you? How can I help you? Yeah, I feel like I'm a servant. I'm here to serve and give.
You're so amazing.
I love you.
The actress, the singer, the author, the mother, the friend, the sister, the wife. It's like we could just go on and on. The woman who is the example of you can have it all. Man, I wish we got into the book a little more, but you guys have to get Bunzology Body. Tell them where they could get it.
Yes, it's everywhere. Amazon, it's at Barnes & Nobles. Anywhere you buy books, it's there.
Yes. And then please share your newest song with them, all the things.
Yes, guys, I'm so excited. I'm not sure if you guys know Holla Doja Holland. They're like the biggest writers of all time. With Motown Records, they started. So my uncle's the founder with Berry Gordy of Motown. And they said, Soulfia, we have this movie we needed a song for. So I did a song for a film. And then we ended up doing 5 songs. And
so amazing.
I'm just so excited for the release of this project because I'm a huge fan of Adele and Alicia Keys. I love real music. I love soul music. I come up on it.
Yes.
And just to bring back real music, I'm really excited for that. So, yeah. It's about some love.
Okay, well, I'm going to drop everything because you guys, we all could use a little more. So
yes.
You are just the light.
I love you so
the
much.
Light that just the gift that keeps giving. You are amazing. It's been such an honor and a privilege to have you. Thank you guys so much. This is Soul Cync. Catch you guys later. My soulmates, thank you for tuning in, growing with me, and being part of this journey. If this episode resonated with you, take a moment to reflect, share it with someone who needs it, and let's keep the conversation going. And if you haven't already, please be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. And if you're listening on audio, leave a review. It truly means the world to me. And until next time, stay aligned, stay open, and keep syncing with your soul. This is Chaniah Kelly, and I'll see you next time on Soul Cync.